Hey there, how you doing? So this week we've got some really quite awesome alignments coming up. I really, I say this every video at the moment, but it really feels like the alignments that are going on right now are pretty phenomenal. So we've got a Venus and Jupiter cycle starting up this week, where Venus and Jupiter have come into their conjunction. This happens approximately every year. And they're both the benefics of the solar system. So they've both got a pretty beneficial, helpful, positive meaning in the way that their energies are expressed. So you've got the two of them coming together. It's double the luck, double the warmth, double. To me, I think of Jupiter and Venus coming together a bit like I think of rose quartz. I think of that sort of hug energy, that feeling of unconditional love, and also unconditional regard, for people. So to me, it feels very, very hopeful and optimistic. On that day as well, both Venus and Jupiter are also making an exact sextile to Neptune. Now, this, like, Venus will do that with Neptune approximately twice a year. Jupiter will do this usually once, maybe twice a year. And so it's not rare, but the fact that all three of them are happening, all three of these aspects on the same day, is pretty phenomenal. Now, it's not just that's happening on this particular day, because we've also got the full moon. Now, the full moon, we've got the moon in opposition to both Venus and Jupiter, and the sun in a conjunction with both Venus and Jupiter. Let's not forget that Venus and Jupiter are also in an ongoing conjunction with Uranus as well, giving it a much more surprising, potentially shocking, potentially really uplifting energy as well. And let's also not forget that all of these positions, like the Venus, the Jupiter, the Uranus, and the Sun, are also in a trine with Pluto. In fact, on the day of the full moon, which I'm also doing a separate recording for the full moon because that warrants it on its own, but Pluto is in an exact sextile with the moon and is also in an exact trine with the Sun. So a lot of really great alignments, a lot of great potential, and it's a real standout day. The 23rd is, wow, really, really good day. So let's explore this a little bit more. I don't want to talk too much about it, because actually what I want to do is a quick run through of each of the signs of the zodiac and give a sense of how this is showing up in your chart. So for instance, what I will be looking at is, so, for each sign of the zodiac, this is the, this bit here is where Venus and Jupiter are together. Then we've also got this sextile to Neptune. Then we've also got the connections to Pluto that are happening, and also the moon. So I'm looking at this and really saying, okay, if we could make a wish with this energy, where would that be showing up in your chart? So yeah, very, very excited. Let's see what comes up, shall we? So in terms of this, before I go any further, let's just consider for a moment how often this happens. So here's a little table that I did using astro-seek.com. I looked under their aspect search to check how often Venus is in an exact conjunction with Jupiter. Now, Venus goes around the block, around the whole zodiac once a year. So, we know it happens at least once a year, but not more than once a year. But, you might, like it, for instance, if it happened right at the beginning of January, you may well have one at the end of December. However, I just wanted to show the sort of the frequency. So in 2022, we had one at the end of April. In 2023, we had one at the beginning of March. So that was 11 months apart. Then we've had 13 months in between. 14 months. And in fact, the next one after this one that's happening on May 23rd, so which is coming up this week, we've got June, July, August. So 15 months. And then the time after that's August. 10 months later. So, it's not regular. It's not absolutely guaranteed to be exactly a year away, but we usually have one a year. Now you can see here, they're also jumping in signs. Now you might expect it to go Pisces, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer. But actually what you can see in between 25 and 26, the combined energies of Venus and Jupiter are creating, one at 14 degrees in the sign of Cancer in 2025. And then in 2026, the next one is only 10 degrees on or 11 degrees on in the sign of Cancer. Now, you might wonder why. Well, Jupiter spends a good third of the year retrograde, and then Venus every 2 years, Venus will also go retrograde for 40 days. So I would put that down to the fact that, we're going to have a Venus retrograde, which is affecting that. So, this pattern isn't, it happens, fairly regularly, like once a year, but not with any just, discernible, like you can't sort of easily predict when it's going to happen. You'd have to check it out. So yeah, these are good. So Venus here, if we were to shorthand it, we would say Venus is the planet of love. That's what she's most known for. She's also known for connection, flow, joy, creativity, and abundance. Amongst other things, there will be other things that she is known for, like, for instance, partnership, the relationships, our feelings, how our emotions come up. So the moon is very much, like the psyche, the wellspring of our emotions. But Venus is showing what we're doing with them, how we're connecting our emotions to a person, a place, a thing, an activity. So, whatever Venus is touching is moving things along in a harmonious way. That's what she's there for. When she's stressed out, she can bring up some of the nastier aspects of love, like jealousy and possessiveness. But, in this conjunction with Jupiter, this is absolutely emphasizing the glory, the joy of creativity and abundance. Now, Jupiter is about growth, expansion, faith, confidence, curiosity. It's also very humorous. And again, there are lots of other aspects of Jupiter that can come out. I mean, Jupiter, I'm recording something about Jupiter going into Gemini because that's happening just 2 days after this amazing start of a new cycle. But, Jupiter rules a lot of things. He was seen as the god of all human affairs, and also the god of the sky and weather and stuff like that. But, we know, when we apply Jupiter in a very sort of humanistic way, he's about the growth and evolution of ourselves. What are we learning in life? What can we be curious about, and how can that change and evolve our spiritual beliefs? So there's something spiritual and religious, and that's why I've put in faith and confidence, because I think, when we can trust in life, I really think Jupiter helps to confer trust. In fact, both of them do. So we could also say that this new cycle starting between Jupiter and Venus is a new cycle of renewed trust, a new cycle of confidence in the goodness in life. So, that's again why I've said here that it's lighthearted. This is meant to be something that feels lighthearted. It feels like the warmth of a hug. It's about positivity. And funnily enough, it's a real sort of feel good feeling. Now, if you've got this conjunction in your birth chart, and you may well do, because like I said, it happens once a year pretty much. So, I'm quite sure a lot of people that watch will have this. You'll probably be drawn to this video, in fact, because I always find that, the patterns that we have seem to help determine what we end up watching. So, if you've got this conjunction, or for instance, in my chart, that they're both in a sextile, showing a nice easy flow between both of these planets, where these planets are featuring in your chart will also influence how this goes down within your chart. What are you starting with this new cycle of confidence and positivity, this kind of feel good feeling? So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have a look at this on a sign by sign basis. Before we go any further, though, I just want to quickly run through some of the things that are all happening on the May 23rd. So it all starts off, we've got the moon, which is actually down here just underneath that spot. I should have moved those in, actually. So the moon goes into opposition with Venus. That's where it all starts, at 29 degrees 18 in the sign of Taurus. That's early in the morning. These are all London times, by the way. You can easily work out your time zone. If you go to timeanddate.com and go to meeting planner, and then look up your time zone, and then check the time in London, UK, It will show you whether you're 5 hours behind or 5 hours in front, and then just add or subtract from these times I've put here. That's probably the easiest way of doing it. Then the moon moves into opposition with Jupiter. So the moon is kind of setting the scene. So the moon in opposition to Venus, it can bring a spike in our feelings. It can bring a feeling of, oh, what am I feeling here? It kind of almost gets us out of our body for a moment. And the moon opposition Jupiter, again, out of the moon oppositions, I would say the moon oppositions to Venus and Jupiter are the most benign ones. They're not the ones that tend to make us flip out. We're much more likely to overdo things. We're overdoing the feeling. We're overdoing the confidence. So, it brings out too much of a good thing rather than too little of a good thing. So yeah, this whole day is set up with the moon going into opposition to these two, and then Venus moves into the conjunction with Jupiter. They are both here at 29 degrees Taurus. So you'll see all these movements and later with the sextile to Neptunes. They're all at 29 degrees. Now 29 degree is also known as an anaretic degree. Essentially it's the very, very last degree in a particular sign. And a lot of people say, oh, it's right on the cusp, but therefore it's a little bit Taurus, it's a little bit Gemini. I would disagree with that. I think when it gets to 0 degree in a sign, which Jupiter is going to go to 0 degree on the 25th in the sign of Gemini, when it's at 0 degrees, you've got that brand new feeling, like it's like the planet is birthing itself. To me, it feels like the planet is re-emerging with a new flavor. So it's expressing itself in a whole new way. When it's at the end of a sign at the 29th degree, I believe it's breaking down. It's falling out of the relationship with Taurus, for instance, in this instance. So at the moment of this Venus conjunction to Jupiter, both Venus and Jupiter are kind of taking off their Taurus hats, taking off their Taurus coats and thinking, oh, how can I lose some of that Taurian energy? And so it's not, like Venus and Taurus. Venus is the ruler of Taurus. And so, Venus and Taurus is all about ease and comfort. And, how can we just feel more groovy in ourselves? How can we get more comfortable? How can we be more loving? How can we be kinder? How can we use our voice to speak words of love? Venus is all beautiful and deeply sensuous and kind of slow about it. Taurus is a slow sign. It's not necessarily about moving fast. And Jupiter in the sign of Taurus, is about appreciating the resources we've got, loving them, being really grateful for the reciprocity between people. Taurus is known as a sign about abundance. It's about how we value ourselves and how we value our resources. So we've got Venus and Jupiter starting their new cycle, which if you were to combine love, connection, flow, joy, creativity, and abundance with growth, expansion, faith, confidence, and curiosity and humor, you might have something that's lighthearted, positive, and feels good. So we are starting this new cycle with the feelings of feeling good about our resources, feeling good maybe about our self-esteem, which arguably is the most important of our resources. And anything that tries to come in between you and your self-esteem is really urging you to just go into a deeper relationship with yourself, and just it's urging you to love yourself more fully, absolutely more fully, and kind of to hug yourself. We have to take responsibility for it. So, at this last degree, not only do we have all these kind of feel-good feelings that are about valuing our resources, but there's a breaking down of that pattern. So we might very well be challenged. We might find that all of a sudden, we're not sure if our resources are bringing us this deep joy. I saw it written down somewhere recently about the anaretic degree of 29 degrees, and said it's like you've done this pattern for such a long time that it's almost like the pattern has been done over and over and over again over many lifetimes, if you believe in past lives, that is, and that this is your last challenge with this issue. So, for instance, if you have got an issue to do with self-esteem, or to do with your earnings and how you look after money, how you revere what you've got, how you're in a place of gratitude. If you've had a challenge about this, this new start may well be the thing that helps you leave behind the past with grace and with positivity and with that feeling of beautiful flow. If there's a situation whereby your self-esteem feels like it's been attacked, or like there's a situation whereby you're not feeling so grateful, or you're starting to doubt yourself, or starting to not feel like you're in confidence, you're not feeling abundant, you're not feeling in that flow and joy, maybe this anuretic degree and this new cycle is coming in to release that and to set you free on that. So, this could be really quite exciting, and it is a bit of a wild card. The 29th degree is a wild card, and it is kind of stripping off those old emotions and getting ready, because obviously soon after, and I haven't put this in, but soon after, Venus then does also go into the sign of Gemini, and 2 days later, Jupiter joins her. So, yes, this is a very interesting new start of the cycle, and also both of them are then going into the next sign within a short while. So they are picking up a new flavor. Now, when they both do go into the sign of Gemini, the Gemini energy, in contrast to the Taurus energy, is fast. It's short. It doesn't languish over things for hours, weeks, months. It wants to transact very quickly. The Venus and Jupiter energy, which is all about this kind of creative connection, this confidence to expand and to trust people. It's happening quicker and quicker. So it's about beautiful messages that forge relationships, messages that inspire people, and it could be very much a way of seeding a new way of thinking, because Gemini is absolutely associated with the mind. Gemini is also a sign of community, so you may well feel the support of a community around you, and be in communication with the community, which is really great. So yes, this energy is going to really shift up an octave, very, very quickly. If by this time next week, I'm recording this on Sunday, the 19th of May. By this time next week, it all will have changed. So yeah, really kind of interesting times. Now, later on, Venus goes into an exact sextile with Neptune. And then in between that, there's the exact moment of the full moon. So the sun is here, and the moon by that time has just moved over a couple of degrees, followed by Jupiter making an exact sextile to Neptune. So Neptune is also known as the higher harmonic of Venus. So Venus is about love, connection, flow, joy, creativity. Neptune is the higher octave of it. It's the spiritual version, a bit like, we talk about our 5 senses, like to be able to see, to hear, to taste, smell, to touch. If we think of clairaudience, it's like hearing, but not with our physical ears, but hearing with that light ear technology. How we can tune in and just hear something on a different vibrational frequency. Same with clairvoyance. So voyance, it's we're not looking with our physical eyes, but we're seeing things with a different kind of eye technology. Is it our spirit eyes? Is it our third eye, which people talk about? But it's that sense that we can see and hear and also feel things, clairsentience. We can know things. So Neptune is a higher version, a higher vibration of the feelings. Venus is very much about the senses. She is very sensual. So we've got the sensuous, really felt in our body, love and connection, joy and creativity. And then when she goes into her sextile with Neptune, we've got the spiritual version of it kicking in, and they're both working really beautifully. So it's like what we can feel in our body can then be somehow felt at a higher octave. It's like we feel it in our body first, and then we feel a much greater connection. So could you imagine if on this day you were able to create the sensation of a beautiful, I don't know, light-hearted hug, the sense of possibility, that sense that all is well, that you are absolutely held in a space of grace, of beauty, of love, of trust, of honesty, of all of that. Could you imagine if you were nestled in that energy, and then just later on that day, it got recreated at a much at a greater spiritual level, and it's there kind of really holding you in time and space in this place of utter freedom. Because when you feel that gorgeous, when you feel that unabandoned, when you feel that sort of like free to feel all of those emotions, isn't that just the greatest of escapes? Neptune is known as a planet that creates a sense of escape. It's freeing us from the limitations of our body. So this could be a very, very divine moment that really, really combines it all. So yeah, I love this. And you'll see they're making, now we talk about trines a lot. In fact, here's a trine at 29 degrees from Neptune down to Pallas Athena and the moon, and then actually to the ascendant of the moment of when Venus is in a conjunction with Jupiter. Obviously that's in the London time zone. It'd be different according to where it is in your part of the world. But we talk about trines a lot, and actually what's happening here is we've got this lovely right angle triangle, which, with the, I say right angle triangle because actually these two planets of Jupiter and Venus are connected to Neptune. That's not setting up a triangle, but then the position of the moon is making that third corner. Now, I think these triangles are very, very productive because you've got a trine energy between the moon and Neptune. You've also got an opposition between the moon, Venus and Jupiter, and also you've got the sextiles going on here. So the opposition puts in a little bit of a challenge. It puts in a little bit of the psyche. And if you think of the moon as being our intuition, that could really, really supercharge that, could make it really, really strong. Then also, if we factor in the positions of Pluto here, which actually in the London chart fits right on is sort of exactly on the descendant. And then we've got the sun here at 2 degrees. And then when you factor in the moon, you've got also another right angle triangle with a trine and a sextile. So we've got these beautiful shapes coming up, this beautiful sacred geometry. So I really, really love that. I think the sacred geometry, especially when, like, if we were to put an axes down here right the way through the middle, you would see the symmetry of it. It's like a butterfly, with the two wings. And I always think that when we have these patterns that are symmetrical, there is something really quite magical and great going on. That's why I'm always looking out for these patterns. If we were to factor in the ascendant as well, and that's really only for people in the same time zone, I'm talking about the London-Lisbon, because I live in Portugal, the London-Lisbon time zone. And then we've got another right angle triangle between the ascendant, the sun, also Venus and Jupiter, and also the moon. So it's like these right-handed triangles, they're everywhere, right angle triangles. But if we sort of ignore the ascendant, because that's only relevant to people in the London time zone, actually what we've got here is this lovely trapezium shape, which looks like the roof of a house or the bottom of a boat. There is, if you think about the roof of the house, it protects us from what's coming in. Or if you think about the base of a boat, it supports us, it keeps us afloat. So there's something really nice about the feeling of the shape. So yeah, I really, really like it. Before we go any further, I just want to thank all the people that absolutely support this channel, because you are so appreciated. It really makes a difference to me when I hear that someone supported me and appreciates the work. So thank you so much. And thank you for the whole community, because you are making a difference. So thanks. So anyway, what I'm going to do now is run through each of the signs of the zodiac and say how I think you might choose to make a wish. If you think this is quite magical energy, I feel like I'm a bit like a sort of good fairy in this. So, if I'm sort of waving my magic wand, I really want to say, well, this is where it's all kind of coming down. So these aren't going to be long forecasts, but I just wanted to tune into the energy for you There's so much going on right now. So let's see, how can we expand in this feeling of lightheartedness, the feeling of possibility, and the feeling of feel good. So for you, Aries ascendant, what is really coming up as I look at this is really happening at the tail end of your second house. So this is absolutely about the ending of the second house. The second house is about our values, what we're bringing in terms of physical resources, and also how we value ourselves. Do we hold ourselves in high esteem? So for anyone with an Aries ascendant, I would absolutely say this is about being open to receiving more, and absolutely being able to recognize the goodness within you, absolutely to see the unique strength of who you are, and to really truly appreciate it. It's a really beautiful connection. And if you were to make a wish at this particular time, I absolutely recommend that you wish for the continued freedom of how you feel about yourself. You wish to feel appreciated. You wish to appreciate yourself and to know what it is that you're doing here, and that sense of the value that you bring to others. So that is my wish for you, and I wonder what you might use this energy for on the 23rd to really focus your attentions in a really beautiful way. But anyway, that's my thoughts for you, Aries, and I hope this energy is absolutely there to enhance and bring you on even more. So lots of love. Let's move on to Taurus ascendant then. So if you've got Taurus ascendant, this is really happening at the end of your first house. And if you think about the first house, it's about your personal brand. It's about your body, and it's about your personal image. Or, what do people know about you? And so here I would say there is an opportunity for generosity. There is an absolute opportunity for you to let go of anything that you're feeling very tight about. Anything where you're just not feeling the flow of energy. And I really mean it, because obviously with Jupiter and Uranus here, there is Uranus there, but with Jupiter and Venus starting their new cycle here, there is an opportunity to absolutely let go of anything that doesn't match the feeling of love, connection, flow, joy, creativity, and abundance, and let go of anything that doesn't support your growth, expansion, faith, confidence, and curiosity, or humor. So any kind of bad moods, bad tension, bad feelings towards yourself, really any kind of bad feelings towards yourself that you might be projecting out there onto others, simply because you feel it so much in yourself. So if I was in your shoes, I would absolutely make a wish for the freeing up of the energy of how it is you feel in your body, and how it is you feel in yourself. Just absolutely let it go. Let it flow out of your body. Let that release be complete, and let it empty you of any negativity, so you can absolutely feel that lighthearted hug, that possibility, that feel good possibility. That is my absolute wish for you, is that you feel good in yourself and feel generous with yourself, so that you can feel absolutely generous with everybody else. So as you trust yourself more, you come into an alignment of trust with other people. And I just think, if you're able to do that, can you imagine the possibilities for your life to change and to expand, and to bring you a lot more beautiful, loving connection? So there you go, Taurus ascendant. That's my loving wish for you. So on to Gemini ascendant. So this is absolutely kind of taking effect right at the tail end of your 12th house. So in this instance, I would say that this beautiful connection between Venus and Jupiter is there to bring a sense of possibility to the absolute most darkest recesses of your mind. The 12th house really shows us what's hidden from view. Often the things that we really cannot face, those areas of darkness that those areas that you've shut the door completely on, because you don't want to show them the light of day, because you fear what might come out if you were to just open the door. And I say with this, my make-a-wish energy for you right now, if I was in your shoes, I would say, go on, darling, you can do it. Just open the door. Just see what is there. Most likely what is trapped in the back of your mind, the thing that you fear looking at, the thing that absolutely you've locked the door tight. It's a part of yourself. It's a part of your history. It's a moment in time that you're not able to connect to right now. And yet this lighthearted hug, this positivity, this feel good energy is there to help you know that it's okay. There is help around you. You just can't see it yet, but there is the sense that, whatever has happened, whatever you feel about yourself, the past can't be changed. However, you can feel supported. And I think this is the thing, is this Jupiter and Venus energy is there to let you know that even in the darkness, you can have faith. You can feel that sense of being loved. And is it a universal connection? Most likely it is. The 12th house is the unconscious mind. So this could also connect you to the energy of all that is, whether it's God, whether it's the universe, whether it's that feeling of connection to your higher self. So absolutely, I absolutely wish you this beautiful sense of renewed consciousness and renewed faith in all that is there to support you on your journey. So there you go. I hope that's helpful for you. Moving on to Cancer ascendant. So for people with Cancer ascendant, this Venus and Jupiter conjunction is taking place in your 11th house. Right at the edge of your 11th house, in fact. And so you're coming to the end of a journey to do with your networks and how you are with your friends, how you are with associations, how you are with the sort of global picture. It feels like there's an end of a journey. So anywhere where you have felt like you couldn't trust people within your networks, anywhere where you feel like there is a lack of flow, a lack of connection, this is an almost last-ditched attempt. It feels like there is an opportunity to rewrite this, to turn it around, and to come into a sense of truth, come into a sense of beauty, come into a sense of confidence that actually everything is going to be okay. It also could represent a really beautiful new opportunity, because the 11th house is a place where we co-create, where we are bringing in love and peace and joy with other people. So this could also be you coming together with others to create something really nice, really generous, really supportive. So anywhere where there's anything that feels icky, disconnected, that can just kind of, you could let that go. You can just let it drop to the floor, let it disappear, let it just be in the past, and just focus on what you've learned and how you can move forwards with the love and support. And I would say collaboration of other people, and we have to trust. So, this is all about trusting within the groups that you're in, and you may well be surprised at what you can achieve together. Moving on then to Leo ascendant, what I really see with this for you, this is happening at the edge of your 10th house. Now, obviously, the 10th house is all about how you stand in the world, your career, your energies, your vibration, like how vibrant are you right now? Okay. So much has been going on for such a long time within your charts, all in this very strong angular position, really helping you to push yourself a little bit more, to feel absolutely into that feeling of sovereignty, that actually maybe you don't need to shine in the way that everybody else wants you to shine. Maybe it's okay for you to absolutely shine in the way that is really unique to you, the way that truly is written into your birth chart, is like written into your DNA, is written into your soul's pattern. This, I think, is really the song of who you really are. So when I think of this Venus and Jupiter new cycle starting right at the end of the 10th, I think there is this last minute realization about who you really are. Now, as I say who you really are, I think probably in every single video I do, because I actually believe that astrology is helping us recognize something deep within us that maybe we've forgotten. But this Venus and Jupiter, it's not so much realizing who you really are, but allowing yourself to, like, affording yourself the generosity and the freedom to breathe, and not obviously you're breathing right now as you're listening to this. I don't mean it like physically, but what I mean is like allowing yourself to just utterly be in the moment and see what comes up. So, who Who were you designed to be? Do you remember? This is, I think, nudging you to remember, when did you feel really, really good? And what were you doing when you were really, really feeling good? This is reminding you that the thing that makes you you is the thing that can become your legacy. This is reminding you to shine in the light of how you were designed to be. If anything, it is kind of blasting out of any box that you've put yourself in. And it's saying, like, you don't have to be in the box. Like, in the box, you can't see your light. It's like, get those walls down, get out of that box, and allow people to completely see the true, real you. And you might have to do it to yourself first. Or if you're in like a really good community, you feel very supported. I mean, in this position, you're very, very visible, so it might be easy to ask people, who am I? What do you see? And see what comes up, because there's something about you that's a little bit different. And it's the difference. It's when you are being you that you're going to be acknowledged, and when, the output of your amazing creativity is going to land. So I see that there is this possibility to truly feel free to be yourself, where you don't have to worry about what people think. And if I was in your shoes right now, I would wish to become more me, like, how can I absolutely be? And maybe if you've got small children, or if you can remember what toddlers are like, maybe you could be like that really free and spontaneous toddler that you see like walking down the street, and they've got this swagger, or they've got something about them. They just absolutely love and appreciate themselves just the way they are. And that is what I wish for you. So there you go. Moving on to Virgo Ascendant then. So for you Virgos, this lovely Venus and Jupiter conjunction is happening at the end of your ninth house. Now, the ninth house is about our belief systems. It's absolutely about our faith, our spirituality, our ability to see the bigger picture, much bigger picture. And it's also about our wanderlust, our great sense of adventure in life. And so with Venus and Jupiter here, what I want to ask you is, how much life are you open to receiving right now? How much life are you encouraging in and inviting in? Because with Venus and Jupiter here, to me, it feels like there's a safety, almost like the more you are encouraging yourself to feel the full spectrum of life and love, the full spectrum of beliefs and spirituality, the full spectrum of, everyone expressing themselves in their own unique ways. When you can fully witness the full spectrum, you realize that you are part of something. And you really, even if you just realize you're a tiny speck in this massive vibration of co-created life here right now, there is something that helps you feel like you belong here. It helps reignite that sense of faith. It helps reignite that feeling of, I exist, I have a purpose. And so what I'm getting here is that, any kind of wish that we might be making for ourselves is this deeper yearning, this deeper connection, and to make your life more of an adventure, to feel the adventure in every moment, so that even if actually your life is sometimes a bit mundane, like most people's lives are, even if you are in the mundane, you're still feeling extraordinary. And that would be my wish for you right now, Virgo Ascendant, is that if I were in your shoes, I would be making the wish that helps me recognize how extraordinary my life is, and how connected I am to the whole pattern of life, and actually how my existence. Oh, sorry, it's my. I got up extra early today and set my alarm, and I forgot to take it off. But I would absolutely encourage you to recognize that the little part that you play is actually really sewn into the experience of everyone, and that your output is needed. So it's really feeling your connection in the whole bigger context of life. So there you go. I hope that's helpful to you. Moving on then to Libra Ascendant. So Libra Ascendant, I really see that this energy is very, very beneficial. First of all, like, you are ruled by Venus. So this is one of these new cycles that's going to be very, very beneficial for you, really helpful. It's at the tail end of the eighth house. The eighth house is known as being a place where we transform. And sometimes that transformation is not easy. And I'm quite sure that as Venus and Jupiter later on in this week, as they both move into your ninth house, I'm pretty sure your bodies, your mind, your psyche are going to breathe a massive sigh of relief. It will feel like, oh, thank goodness. But, right now, this new cycle is taking place right at the tail end of the eighth house of experience. It really is just saying, you have been through this massive transformation, this real change in the cycle of life. Any situation that's happened since the last conjunction between Venus and Jupiter has taken you on this very, very big journey where stuff started up maybe small, it grew, got more important, started to die back. You've really felt the full flow of life, in a way that a lot of other signs haven't really experienced. You felt the full life cycle of situations, not just one, but maybe 2, 3, or 4 different storylines have been going on for you. So this is a closing of this particular moment in time. This is like some of your stories coming to an end, and you might find a way to end these stories with a feeling of generosity, with a feeling of warmth, with a feeling of relief. In fact, Venus and Jupiter are absolutely about feeling relief. They are giving you that feeling of, okay, I stand for something else now. I've moved out of this pattern and my vibration has just shifted. I can absolutely release myself of any of the darkness. I've taken the learning with me, but I can let go of the crap that sits underneath it. So yeah, what I'm really getting here is a sense of closure, a sense of release, a sense of being able to breathe out and go, oh my God, what the hell is that about? So I feel really quite excited for you when I share this. So I hope that's helpful to you. And I wish you all the best in letting go of all those things that are just no longer relevant to your flowing up. It's like you are about to have a glow up, so to speak. You're having a glowing makeover. It's coming. And as Venus and Jupiter do head into your ninth, life is going to absolutely go up a notch. So there you go, Libra Ascendant. I hope that's helpful for you. So on to Scorpio Ascendant. So for all of you Scorpio Ascendants out there, the Venus and Jupiter energy is absolutely right at the tail end of the 7th house of experience, which, as you probably know, is all about your relationships. So the relationships with your partners, the relationships with your friends, the relationships with people that you don't like, or the relationships that you have with people that don't like you. So there's definitely something about the other in there, and also about projections, because this is where you live and this is where everybody else lives with their visions and values and expectations that they might put on you. So with this Venus and Jupiter conjunction right at the tail end of this, what I would absolutely say to you is, absolutely, it's time to recognize that there are some people that can stay, there are some people that can go. So you may well decide that you are using this wish, using this moment of possibility to invite into your life, to invite more beautiful people into your life, people that want to experience lightheartedness, feel good feelings, creativity, abundance, confidence, people that want to enhance your life and enhance theirs at the same time. So you might well put out a wish that everyone that is on the same vibration as you, that absolutely wants to generously and open-heartedly express themselves in a beautiful symphony of collaboration and connection and growth and expansion. Anyone that wants to do that, I invite you in. I'm open to your energies, and I am absolutely open to feeling good and to experience more good through the connections that I've got in my life. And you might also want to close the door on anyone that is not supporting you to feel that sense of growth and sharing, that sense of possibility, that sense of optimism that both Venus and Jupiter represent. Anyone that's going to try and take away from you, it's okay to just shut the door on that. So, the 29th degree at the end of the 7th house, yeah, you may well just decide, well, it's definitely, I am closing the door on some experiences and opening it, keeping it wide open for others. So if I was to offer you a wish that you might put out there, it is that you can feel the sense of possibility. You can have renewed trust that anyone that is for you can come to you, and anyone that's not for you can find their own companions in their own vibrational range. So that way you're not necessarily shutting the door, but you're just inviting them to go elsewhere. You might also choose to use this wish to find a greater sense of connection with the right people and to have a better sense of discernment. Venus and Jupiter will help to renew your faith and trust in partners, and your faith and trust in the people around you, so that you know you've got it right. And you might also need to look, or choose to look, at anywhere within you that you're holding an unloving vibration to yourself, because anywhere where you're holding unlove in yourself, that will attract other unloving people into your life. So very much the Venus and Jupiter conjunction here is setting you on a new path in terms of how you relate to others. So I wish you well with that one. Lots of love. Moving on to Sagittarius ascendant then. So for you, this conjunction is absolutely taking place at the end of the sixth house. And so, yeah, the sixth house it gets a bit of a bad rep. And I have been accused, well, not accused, I have actually described this house maybe as a bit of a boring place, but it's also a place where real life takes place. You know, the sixth house is what we're manifesting in a very, very physical form. You know, so our health, our house and how well it is run, our habits that allow us to live and be more. The more we get this flowing and the more we get a good feeling in the way we're running our life, the easier it is for new opportunities to come in, and the easier it is for us to feel healthy. Now, the sixth house really does look after your health. So with Venus and Jupiter coming in together into this lovely new cycle, I absolutely encourage you to wish for your health, wish for your physical stamina, wish for your ability to manage your life in a beautiful way, so that it flows, so that all of your habits and all of your routines just seem to flow beautifully. That everywhere that you have a routine, everywhere where you need to keep the flow going, you can have the best people, the best situations around you. Anywhere where you're having to be a bit determined to keep to a schedule, allow for ease and grace, and to feel the gratitude of it. So if I was to make a wish right now, you know, from your lens right now, Sagittarius ascendant, I would absolutely wish that within the way I live my life, I can find more space to be me, where I can feel it easier to be in great health and with a great sense of confidence in my body and what my body can do. I would also create a sense of ease with how my whole life is working. So how my finances are working, how my house is working, how my bills get paid, how I can take a break when I need to. I would absolutely imagine ease and grace, and wonder how I can find more joy on my day-to-day, within my day-to-day existence. So there you go. It doesn't sound so profound, and yet as this starts to work more smoothly and more gracefully, can you see how much more of life there is? It makes all of your relationships flow so much more beautifully. And so, you know, it creates more space for other people to connect with you. It creates more space for you to be able to be inspired with a new work idea. It creates more space. Like, you know, if you are managing your money well, because you're managing your life well, it creates more space for you to do something with it. So this is all about creating a sense of possibility and a sense of space within your life. So there you go. I hope that's helpful. Moving on to Capricorn ascendant then. So this Venus and Jupiter conjunction is taking place at the end of your fifth house. Now, the fifth house is about everything you've created out of a sense of joy and a sense of creativity. So, you know, it could be about your artistic endeavors. It could be how, like, let's see, where are you creative about? What are you birthing? What have you been birthing? So it involves your children. It also involves intimacy, sensuality, because that is something we're birthing within our bodies in a joyful state all the time. So anywhere where the product of your creativity has been stressing you out, I absolutely wish for you, or hope for you, or stand or hold the space for you to feel that sense of growth and optimism, to feel that space of curiosity that can bring you good results and a light-hearted and feel good energy. This Venus and Jupiter conjunction is here to help you create more through your joy, to help you create more through a sense of loving intimacy with other people, and to help you create more between you and your children. So for instance, if you've got children, this could be just the kind of energy that can create more sharing between you, where you are all having fun, even though you're different age groups and you've probably got different things that capture your attention. It feels like there's an ease and a grace and a joy and a positivity. So anything that you're working on right now that has come from you, that you have birthed, that you're bringing into this world right now, Capricorn Ascendant, I see that Venus and Jupiter are really helping you to protect it, to make it stronger, to make it more joyful, and to create more of it. So there you go. I hope that's helpful for you. And knowing just how business minded you are, and also, and also how much confidence you do have that you can create something out of nothing. If you have got one of these wonderful little ideas in the background, I absolutely also wish that you feel that sense of possibility, that you can bring out another new big idea. So anyway, lots and lots of love to you. Moving on to Aquarius Ascendant now. So this Venus and Jupiter energy, this conjunction is coming up at the end of your fourth house. Now, the fourth house is about your home and your security and your feeling of absolute safety. And so having Venus and Jupiter here, I think, is actually very beneficial. So, I mean, your ruling planet, or one of your ruling planets, which is Uranus, has been going through the fourth house for quite some time, and it often brings a lot of disruption and change and chaos. And so having Venus and Jupiter right at the tail end of this house in their conjunction, setting off a new feel-good cycle of positivity. What I really get from this for you, Aquarius Ascendant, is this is a moment to maybe focus on feeling good at home, feeling safe, realizing that actually your safety is paramount. You can find safety. There is a way to feel secure. There is a way to feel absolutely grounded and stable, and as if you've got these really strong supports that are keeping you upright, that are keeping you safe, keeping you secure, keeping you feeling okay in your body. It is that sense that love and energy and connection can come into your life, and that you're able to receive them. So from your perspective, if I was in your shoes right now, I would be wishing for a greater feeling of stability, a greater feeling of hopefulness at home, a greater feeling of comfort at home, a feeling that there is joy, there is connection, there is a natural abundance to the way you live, that your home is protecting you and giving you all the different kinds of experiences that are helping you to thrive, helping you to survive, helping you to feel utterly safe, so that when you go to bed at night, it's with a smile on your face and you close your eyes and you just go, ah. So that's what I'm really feeling for you, Aquarius Ascendant, is that you feel that sense of relief, that sense of relaxation at the end of every single day, because you know that all is right in your world. So there you go. That's what I'd be wishing for if I was in your shoes. And I wonder how you can use this beautiful energy on this beautiful day to create something nice for you. Finally, let's get to Pisces Ascendant. So Pisces Ascendant, this one's for you. So what I'm looking at here is that sense of how Venus energy, which is love, connection, flow, joy, abundance, creativity, and then the growth energy of Jupiter, which is about growth, expansion, faith, confidence. It's curious, it's humorous. And Jupiter is one of your ruling planets as well. And Neptune is also involved in this day, astrologically, and Neptune's the other ruling planet. So this particular day, the 23rd, is absolutely there to help you manifest something really quite exceptional in your life. And this beautiful Venus and Jupiter conjunction is happening at the end of your third house. Now, if I was in your shoes, I would be wondering, how can I feel a greater sense of belonging in my life? You know, it's there, like the community, which the third house represents. It's that place where we learn, where we have people around us, where we're learning from people, where people are bringing into our experience more, more joy, more connection, more interaction, a greater sense of belonging. So if I was in your shoes right now, I would be making a wish that I can feel peace and comfort in my community. I would be actually making a wish that, or holding the energy that I can feel absolutely steady in my community, that I've got positivity in my community, that I can also be a beacon, a pillar of light within my community. Not just that I receive it from everyone else, but that I am there because I serve my community. So I would be absolutely expecting this Venus and Jupiter energy to permeate from within you out into the wider community, so that you feel absolutely supported, almost like you're in a web, like you are an integral part. Like if I'm seeing an orange right now, and it might be because I need some orange juice, my throat's going, but like if you look inside an orange juice, if you were to cut an orange apart, you'd see all those little segments. You are one of these segments held within the community of, that you belong to. So you are nestled within it. You're an integral part of it. You being in it helps your community maintain its structure. So my wish for you with this Venus and Jupiter energy is to feel the growth and expansion, feel the sense that you belong, really know that you belong, that you are necessary, that you'd be missed if you weren't there, and see what that feeling of deep level belonging can bring into your life. And that's the thing I would hold on to, is I wonder what this sense of I belong here will create as a possibility for me. So there you go. Much, much love to you and your community. I really hope you feel the love of it. So there you go. They were my thoughts on the Venus and Jupiter conjunction. Like I said right at the start of this video, the Venus and Jupiter conjunction is about all of the goodness. And yes, it's happening on the day of the full moon as well. And so the full moon's likely to bring up some stuff. And I am going to put a video out about the full moon in due course as well. But this is a particularly dreamy day where we can absolutely use that energy to focus in on something really good for ourselves, where we don't have to be like thinking in negativity, but we can absolutely let the sort of Venus Jupiter energy kind of shine from us. So there you go. Lots and lots of love to you wherever you are in the world, and hopefully we'll connect again real soon. Bye for now.